Shortly after getting back to the mainland, we look out to sea and there's a pod of dolphins playing. I'm still suited up, so get straight into it. It's always a real privilege being able to dive with dolphins. I don't think it's something I'll ever get tired of. Just their maneuverability and size. It seems like things that can't exist together, but they make it work. A lot of people perceive dolphins to be these smooth, sleek, flawless animals, but that's quite far from the truth. Almost everyone I've seen has been covered in scars, battle wounds from a hard life in the ocean. Whenever I dive with dolphins, I can't help but feel like I'm in the presence of something greater than myself. When you dive with dolphins, it feels like you're a guest in their world, not the other way around. It's hard to get a sense of the size of these dolphins in the video, but they are very large. It's almost intimidating swimming with dolphins most of the time, even though they pose very little risk to you. These dolphins were very friendly and tolerant of my presence, something I'm very grateful for. Never get tired of the experience. Love seeing these animals every single time. The dolphins did eventually, however, move on, and I was left with nothing but fond memories of these beautiful animals. After the dolphin encounter, I'm still raring to go, despite a day of diving, so I head out to a nearby reef to see if I can shoot some fish. Here you can see a school of trevally swimming about. I'd been following these for maybe half an hour, just trying to get close to a good sized one and make a good shot. Didn't want to rush it, as when you miss these fish, they usually just scatter and you'll never see them again. After the school moves off, I still keep waiting down there, waiting for the school to come back around again. The important thing is I'm not moving, I'm just staying in one spot. You gotta let the fish come to you, not the other way around if you want to make good shots on fish. Here a good sized one comes into range, so I take the opportunity and plug it. After about 6 seconds after shooting the fish, I have a bronze whaler shark come in, almost like at top speed before turning last minute and circling. Right now I'm making no effort to lay claim to this fish. I wanted to keep it away from my body to avoid potentially getting bitten, but however, looking back on it, it was the wrong approach. What I should have done is taken that fish immediately and claimed it as mine. Unsurprisingly, the shark managed to get my fish, and I was thinking this was the end of it. I was like, alright, sweet, they're going to leave me alone now. However, I was unfortunately wrong about that, and the shark continued to circle me for quite a while. By now, I have realised I've gotten quite tangled up in my float line while trying to circle and keep an eye on the shark. Big mistake on my part. This is a very dangerous thing to happen to you. At this point, it's stuck around my GoPro, so you can see my hand up there trying to get it off. After somewhat freeing myself, I kind of take a breather, then look to my right, where a much larger shark is swimming along the surface, almost straight towards me, but passing my right hand side. The shark ended up getting quite close to me. However, this shark was pretty calm for the most part. You can see in his body language he's not making any fast movements or sharp turns or anything like that. He's moving really slowly and calculated. Generally with sharks and a lot of other fish, the first pass they do on you will be the closest. That's when they're really trying to figure out what you are. And then subsequent passes they kind of keep their distance a lot more. So when you're shooting fish, usually you want to try capitalize on that first couple moments. After a bit of an uncomfortable swim, I finally made it back to shore. We ended up sitting on the rocks for about half an hour and just in awe of what had happened. Like, I was pretty scared at the time, but good experience overall. Like, looking back on it, it's real cool. Eventually I start to make my way back to where we were staying, swimming along the coast and shallow, and I actually encountered quite a lot of stingrays. This first one here swims straight towards me, and I kind of back off, don't want to get Steve Irwin by this one. Stingrays for the most part are very placid animals, but at the same time you don't want to underestimate them, as an injury out at sea can very easily become fatal when you're alone. Among these stingrays were two different types, the short-tailed stingray and the eagle ray. The way you kind of tell between these two is the shape of the wings. Eagle rays tend to be more triangular and the short-tailed stingrays are more rounded, as well as being darker in colour. And like a lot of the larger marine animals you can see on stingrays, a lot of the time they have very visible scars or injuries to them. It's not uncommon to see stingrays even missing their barbs and tails, parts of their wings. It's easy to have a false sense of security being in shallow water, but I can tell you right now the vast majority of sharks and stingrays I've seen have only been a couple of meters. Here we have a very large stingray, actually the largest of all the ones I saw here today. This stingray is also missing his barb, so I mean probably harmless but still very intimidating just due to the size of him. Here you can see the large stingray swimming directly on top of a smaller one. I don't know if they have fights between themselves, but as a human it's something I would avoid pretty much at all costs, swimming over a stingray. So here I'm pretty much trying to get as good a footage of the large stingray as I can. It's important to pretty much avoid swimming towards any animals as I find it quite threatening. So if you want to get good footage, you're better off swimming parallel to the animal. They will feel less threatened by you. So this ended up being a pretty epic afternoon for me. Within the space of about 2 hours I got to swim with dolphins, sharks and stingrays. So yeah, it was a good one. So here's the next morning of the trip. This is just a bit of footage of us gearing up and getting ready to go for the day. Plan is shoot a kingfish. Here I am waiting over the side of the boat, all my gear on, ready to go, ready to shoot a kingfish. We're going over to a pin. There's actually quite a lot of current. Getting in the water, the visibility was quite bad, but I was stoked and keen to get into it anyway. After being pushed off the pinnacle in the current, I call out to the boat before looking down into a vortex of kingfish. I take a quick breather, then descend down into the school. These kingfish are very curious, so I can take my time with them and pick out the fish that I want. I see one down towards the bottom of the school, a bit further shot than I usually take, but he looked fatter than the other one, so I took it. I swim up to the surface, keeping constant pressure on that line, don't want the kingfish to run too far, and then make a call out to the boat. I know at this point the Great Barrier has a lot of sharks, and having a kingfish on your line is always pretty much a countdown to a shark turning up. This fight went on for quite a while, however I haven't included most of it. Just doesn't make for very good watching when you can't actually see the fish, just the line. When I look up here you can see I've actually drifted quite far from the boat, so I call out to them again. You can probably hear me breathing quite hard, and that's because I'm really working for this one. This fish doesn't want to give up and die. It's swimming with all its strength down to the bottom, and I'm having to give it all that I have to keep it up. So you can probably hear it in my voice, but I'm pretty stressed out at this point. I'm getting swept away quite quickly in the current, and I have a big kingfish on the end of my line. So right here you can see the kingfish kind of gets another burst of energy, starts kicking really hard again, and I soon find out why as the shark makes it into frame. So this shark footage didn't turn out as well as the other stuff, but I was glad to have kept my distance. This kingfish was comfortably over a meter long and this shark made it look small. After a quick half circle, the shark decides it's hungry and makes a go for the kingfish. At this point I let go of my gun, giving the kingfish line, taking the tension off so it can run freely and hopefully escape the shark. Now the boat is almost caught up with me. I'm getting quite relieved at this fact, keen to get out of the water away from the shark. I make it to the side of the boat where I hand up my float line to Damon, where he starts muscling in the fish, bringing it to the boat and away from that shark. To my absolute astonishment, we actually managed to get this fish in the boat in one piece.
Big gnarly bit of territory out there as well. Cool. A shark came to see as well?
Yeah, I thought it was going to take it. It was pretty close.
Bronzy?
Yeah. After getting the kingfish in the boat, we decided to head to another spot where I'm greeted by more kingfish. However, I'm not looking to shoot one. Like at this point, I've got my fish and I'm just happy watching them. The main drive of spearfishing isn't just getting food, it's really like about enjoying it and being out there and experiencing something different that you don't every day. And that's what really drives me to do it. It's not all about shooting and killing and eating things. One of my all-time favourite quotes is, "Limit your catch, don't catch your limit." Thanks for watching this episode. I really hope you enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed my time on Great Barrier and hope one day to go back there. Some epic diving, epic scenery,